The real-life Thanos, and how you can avoid being a victim of one of the greatest supervillains that actually exists. For those who aren't Marvel fans, Thanos is a supervillain in the Avengers movies. His goal is to find all of the Infinity Stones across the universe in order to kill half the population of the galaxy. He feels he's doing life forms across the galaxy a favor by ending their suffering due to overpopulation. I want you to meet the real-life Thanos, Klaus Schwab, who is the founder and leader of the WEF, World Economic Forum. He and his global elite who meet in Davos once per year to decide what direction to take humanity. These global elite are made up of billionaires like Bill Gates and the CEO of Pfizer to politicians like Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, and Angela Merkel from Germany. Basically, the billionaires and politicians from the West are members. And the reason I call Klaus Schwab the real-life Thanos is because his goal is exactly the same: to reduce the population of Earth, to reduce the suffering of all humans due to overpopulation. His tools include climate change action, wars of course, which help kill off population, and many more of these psychotic things that we've seen infiltrate our society at an incredible pace lately. This may sound like I've got my tinfoil hat on right now, but all you have to do is go straight to their website as they openly brag about their intentions. And if that isn't crystal clear, just look at this recent Forbes article stating the science of Avengers Endgame proves that Thanos did nothing wrong. Are you kidding me? They're actually saying that the bad guy in Marvel movies is actually a good guy by killing people. I'm only saying, how can anyone think it's okay to kill half the population? And they're openly saying Thanos is doing the right thing. WTF, WEF. Henry Kissinger, the former Secretary of State under Ford and Nixon, said, "If you control the food supply, you control a nation. If you control the energy, you control a region. If you control the money, you control the world." In 1971 was the year Nixon took us off the gold standard. This is when the US dollar became fiat money, which is money backed by nothing. Printed out of thin air, where it used to be a banknote redeemable in gold. In 1971, this is the same exact year that the WEF was created. Klaus Schwab has been able to rally all of the world's billionaires and politicians into one forum to rule the world as they see fit. These are unelected people forcing their will on the lives of everyone in the world. Klaus's father was heavily embedded in the Nazi Party, and Klaus himself is pushing the ideals of the National Socialist Party of the Nazis, which is government in bed with massive corporations to push specific agendas. Check out the website WTFHappenedin1971.com to see for yourself. 1971 was the staging ground for the horrible situation we're in today. Our currency is becoming worthless. It's controlled by the elites instead of by God, which created gold from the exploding star. This is why so many love Bitcoin, because it isn't controlled by anyone. This helped the WEF control the world by controlling the money supply indirectly through central governments.
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know when you are calm, at peace, passive.
Most of my audience is made up of people in the film industry, or people who just love movies, and they want to learn about money. Why the WEF is so damaging to filmmakers and other entertainment workers, or people who just love movies, I'll tell you right now. Money represents stored productivity with which to trade other people. We trade their productivity more easily than a straight across trade via barter. The more productive we are, the more others can use their time to produce things that we want versus things that we need. For instance, if we were so productive creating the things that we need, like clean water, food, energy, shelter, then other people can spend their time creating art and films and fine dining, theme parks, and other things that we enjoy with their productive time. If we didn't have machinery and other advances in cultivating crops or mining energy resources, then we'd all have to spend our productive time hunting and gathering to survive. The WEF looks to throw us back into the Stone Age, as well as indirect slaves for the elites. Their goals are to create a population that owns nothing and will be happy. They actually say that. Eat bugs instead of animals. They said that too. Unrealistic goals to reduce greenhouse gases, like the California's recent act to force automakers to produce only electric cars by 2035. And then 4 days later tell everyone to stop charging their cars because it's too overloading the power grid. It's just, you can't make this stuff up how dumb these politicians are. But the WEF is instituting many more policies that kill productive output for things that we need. And when you kill productive resources for things that we need, you eliminate the ability for artists to spend their time producing art, film, games, and other entertainment because they need to spend their time gathering bugs to live off of. Now, in reality, this world that the WEF envisions will be so destructive, in my analysis, will actually pit us violently against each other, which is another one of their goals, to reduce the population. If you haven't been following the Dutch farmers of recent days and their battle against the government and the WEF, look at this video here.
We've often talked on this show about the impact of all these kind of net zero climate policies that are being inflicted upon us by governments here and around the world. A story that hasn't got much attention is what has been happening in Holland because of EU climate policies. James?
So, massive protests going on here in the Netherlands right now, where Dutch farmers are protesting against rules that would limit carbon and nitrogen emissions out of their farms. Massive, massive protests. They're blocking highways, they're blocking traffic. I've seen them even spraying manure on government offices here in some of the clips, which I don't think we'll show you this morning. But there's a real big point to this. Net zero is really going to hurt. And do not let anybody tell you otherwise. We have this whole big idea that here in Australia, we can just, slide on over to net zero and everything will be fine. It doesn't work that way, because once you start really doing it, you're talking about cutting down agriculture. You're talking about how are you going to feed people?
This cancel culture is also a direct result from the WEF. They decide what is real information and then kill any thought outside of their approved ideas. I just think about it, and I might do another video on this, but how we've all taken on the Scientology mindsets by allowing people one line of thought, and anyone else who thinks differently or researches the truth differently should be considered a suppressive person, and all communication must be shut off. This kills family structure by pitting families and friends against each other. Remember how the pandemic did all of this? We were all against each other at that point. We're living the Scientologist ideology without being Scientologists. To me, it seems too coincidental that the gain-of-function technology, which is the study of a virus by creating lethal viruses to humans in order to supposedly learn how they work and find vaccines for them before they get out in the world. And this is what Anthony Fauci and other, even Canadian government, sent coronaviruses to the Wuhan lab to be tested on as gain of function. This info has all been suppressed for a long time, but has been coming out in drips and drabs. But we've known for a long time that this was no wet market bat thing. This was a lab leak. And I'm going to throw my tinfoil hat on, but what if this wasn't accidental? What if we find out one day that they actually wanted to unleash this to the population, like Thanos snapping his fingers? Kill off the old people and infirm people with a deadly virus. I wouldn't be surprised at some point that this information comes out someday, but I am speculating. And I hate to get political, but this isn't, because financial freedom is impossible with their slogan, "You'll own nothing and be happy." It is incredibly important that money actors pay attention to this incredibly dangerous group and fight back. Donate to Dutch farmers' cause or any other cause that rallies against these dangerous people. Buy physical gold and silver to have protection against their fake money. You can support my channel by purchasing through this link below. I've partnered with Hard Asset Alliance to keep pumping out content like this, and I hope you'd appreciate it. Again, there is no financial freedom without personal freedom. Fight back against the real-life Thanos. End the WEF. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. The quickest way to get rich is... No, wait! Don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and please click the subscribe button so that you get regular updates when this new videos come out. And also, please go to my website where you'll be prompted to join my email mailing list, where you'll always get regular updates on new ideas on how I can put you in the director's chair of your finances.